Hey, greetings, Sprite Knights and Monster Girls. It's your old pal, Count Jackula from the planet Dracula. And we just got back from the Son of Monsterpalooza Horror Festival in Burbank, California. And man, we had a really good time, like no doubt about it. You may have noticed that I've got a little friend here. Seems like every time I go to LA, I come back with some sort of new accoutrement or ornament. Like earlier this year, like the big addition were these glasses and this fucking ram's ring. This time it's this little skull bead. It's kind of like Pokemon evolution. Gonna be Bulbasaur any day now. We got to meet Horror Gal. She was a lot of fun. We had a great time like hanging out. I don't know how to describe how great and rejuvenating it is to be around other horror people almost exclusively. It's one of the few times that I actually feel like I can just kind of just be myself and not have to worry about shit. And there's that weird dissonance of like even when you got like makeup on or you're dressed up as a monster, like somehow you're revealing some dark part of yourself, and that part is being accepted by others that know what that is. And strangely enough, a lot of people think, oh, horror cons are bad places for children. Your children are going to be just fucking fine. There is this kind of weird thing that happens when horror people fucking get around a kid. Like you think that they're just gonna scare them, but no, they're actually like super friendly. It just gives a kid a chance to make friends with the monster in the closet or the creature under the bed. And it's really important. And there's this beautiful tribal aspect to the whole thing. Like once you're in, you're in. Fucking horror people fucking defend you. Like they'll fucking accept you. It's cool. It's all cool, but you gotta be in. You got to be in all the way. There's got to be no reservations. There can't be any of this. Well, maybe you shouldn't. No. None of that bullshit. Why? You can't be a fucking square. You just can't be a fucking square. Like, you got to be willing to swing. And if you're willing to do that and you're willing to swing and hang out, everything's going to work out fantastically. One of the things that's really interesting about Monsterpalooza is that unlike a lot of other shows, Son of Monsterpalooza and its kind of parent convention, Monsterpalooza itself, these shows are far more about the effects people than they are about the movie stars. And it's very obvious. It's easy for you to miss Jeffrey Combs or Dee Wallace or even like someone more recent like Jessica Cameron. But it is impossible to miss a guy like Greg Nicotero. The special effects guy who does all the stuff for The Walking Dead and who has been around since George Romero's Day of the Dead. He is impossible to miss. Guillermo del Toro is impossible to miss. But all the other actual stars, yeah, they can kind of blend in. And the thing that's kind of great is that they do. They're there. Like Benicio del Toro showed up, but nobody recognized him. He was just like in a hat. He had dark glasses on, looked really schlubby. But like, if you saw him, you were like, wait, that's Benicio. Don't worry, man. I ain't gonna tell nobody because that's their costume. What's the costume of the star? Hey, man, I'm a normal guy. I'm fucking infiltrating. I'm roguing this shit. Because I want to be here and I want to get some stuff. I want to hang out. And we found out that one of the cool things, something that's really cool, is that there are people who show up exclusively before the show who can't hide their identity. The kind of people that if they show up and people know that they're going to fucking be there, the whole show is just going to get mobbed and it's just going to be all about them. And they do not want that. They do not want that at fucking all. But they come before the show officially opens as a period of time that exists just for them, just for the people that can't walk around normally and can't disguise themselves. And it's known, and it's just basically, it's an unspoken rule. Part of the unspoken rule is be cool. Just fucking be cool. Yeah, that's who you think it is. But he doesn't want you to fucking geek out. He wants you to sell him your artwork. He wants you to fucking sell him the bootleg movies that he can't get nowhere else, even though he's fantastic. And there's one of the guys that apparently does this, he always does it unannounced, is Guillermo del Toro. And when you realize that, you're like, oh, yeah, look at all these artists around. Where do you think he gets all the stuff that's in his house? He gets it from these guys. You know, like, these are the people that make that shit. So it was amazing being around those people, like people who had just been around for fucking ever, and new people, because this is where they fucking show off their craft, where they show off everything, and they're all about the big stupid display. You know, the big stupid, hey man, this is what we can do. Hey man, like, makeup effects art is better than it has ever been. Because these people are putting together monsters out of models that they just pick out of the fucking crowd. Just be like, hey, you gonna be here for 6 hours? Okay, yeah, get in the fucking chair. Get in the fucking chair. We're turning you into a fucking troll. We're turning you into, you know, the Mayan death goddess. You know, we're turning you into a merman. It doesn't fucking matter. We're doing it. So as long as you're willing to sit in that chair for like 4 hours, they'll do it. And that shit is flawless. Some of that shit is just so fucking flawless. Like, you could, it's fucking camera ready. These guys put together a fucking monster out of a person in a couple of hours, and it's ready to go from all angles. And it's incredible. It's completely incredible. And it's a crime that we don't make more use of that. But another thing that we did find is that you would be surprised the places that they did use it. For one, we found out that Stranger Things, the Demogorgon, is not a purely digital effect. They actually built that. Now, there's a lot of CG enhancement on it, but there's a guy in a suit that's actually the monster who's actually providing the physical performance in full makeup, in the prosthetic. And the reason they did that was because they wanted the actor's reaction to the monster. And to do that, they had to actually put it in front of them. And the guy who was in that suit, who plays monsters and a whole bunch of shit, was there at the con. On Saturday night, there was a big party. And what we didn't realize is that there was actually going to be a stage performance. So one of the guys at the show was the guy that plays the saxophone in Lost Boys. You know, that guy. And they open up the party with him actually doing that bit again live on stage with the saxophone. And it turns out, not only can this guy play the saxophone, not only can he sing, not only is he still that built, he's still got all that energy. Like, this guy has gotta be in his fucking, like, 60s. But it doesn't matter. He walked around the entire con as the sax guy. And he was loving every minute of it. And if you're like, hey, can a 60-year-old man with a saxophone still make the ladies scream? The answer is yes. And if you doubt that, you're the wrong kind of lady. Made a lot of new friends? Okay, one thing you gotta realize about a horror show, especially one in LA, hearse collector's gonna be there. Like a Day of the Dead, we met this one guy named Lee, and he was amazing. Like, his hearse is decked out. It is beautiful. Like, he just puts every fucking dollar that he needs to, and every fucking minute of attention he needs to keep that thing working in perfect condition, despite the fact that he takes it all over the fucking country. This time, the guy I met who had a hearse was named Raven. Well, the thing that was great about it is when they did the karaoke, which is, of course, like, you know, karaoke with horror people, he's like, that's it. I'm getting in the coffin. You guys wheel me up. Wheel me up to the fucking stage. So we wheel him up to the fucking stage, and he requests Welcome to My Nightmare by Alice Cooper. That's a great moment. There was this girl named Laura who did this amazing cover of Preacher Man, and I was going on after her, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do Missionary Man. Because Pope Star just came out and covered Missionary Man, and I like Missionary Man. It's a good song. I was born an original sinner. I was born from original sin. Unfortunately, karaoke program didn't fucking have Missionary Man. So I end up just looking really quickly through the book and just going with the first song that I even knew, which was Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys. And I'm like, hey, it's karaoke. I kind of know this song. I'm sure with a prompt I can fucking do this. I was almost right. So there's video of me in full satanic Jackula makeup trying to sing, do I wanna know if this feeling goes... Yeah, it's just bad. It's so bad. Not good at all. No. But I stayed up there the entire duration of the songs. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let this one beat me. And it came down to, I need to know more songs. I mean, I thought of doing Bela Lugosi's Dead. The problem is that's a 10-minute song with a 4-minute intro, and it's not very good for karaoke. It's kind of bad, actually. I mean, I don't even know if they fucking had it in the fucking machine. It just, I just happen to know that one. I mean, technically speaking, there was some King Diamond in there, but, no. No. Just no. Man knows his limits, okay? One of the big thrills is getting to meet, like, a lot of artists. And for me personally, a big thrill came when I realized Thomas Baxa was at the convention. Thomas Baxa was an RPG illustrator back in the day. He did a bunch of stuff for like D&D, Vampire the Masquerade, Shadowrun, all the RPGs I really loved. A lot of people might recognize his art from Magic the Gathering, but he kind of dropped off the scene recently, and I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of figured that, like, the fantasy illustration industry just kind of isn't what it used to be, so maybe he just completely dropped out. Turns out he's doing more and more of his own work, which is strict horror related. So he's doing a lot more horror shows and trying to figure out how to make that work. And the fact that he's kind of had to reinvent his career now is a real crying shame, because his art right now is better than it has ever been. I mean, the guy started out good, but now he's really good. In fact, one of the biggest disappointments of the con is that he has this beautiful picture of this white, like, vampire Mayan goddess looking woman, like, covered in blood. It's this huge, beautiful picture. And it was only like $250, and I didn't have $250. Let me tell you, if I had had $250, that just would have been mine. It'd be hanging up right now. Like, right fucking now. Because $250 for that picture is fucking highway robbery. And while that picture is worth way more, I totally would have taken advantage of that highway robbery. I'm not saying I'm a good man. I'm just saying I'm not too proud to pass up a bargain like that. But if you can't pay, you can't play. I actually had a lot of fun talking to Thomas Baxa about YouTube and online presentation and all that kind of stuff. And he seemed very receptive. He seemed very interested in it, which was good, because one of the fucking problems that I often have with a lot of the older dudes in any industry is that they don't understand the internet at all. Like, I mean, they know how to use it, but they don't really understand what moves it, like how it actually allows you to interact with people, what it's good at, what it's bad at, how you tend to the garden of internet. Like, it's a very particular skill, and it's a very particular mindset that you got to get yourself into. And it's not one that a lot of people are used to, because they're not used to a constant stream of information. They're used to bursts of information that come at relatively specific times, like when it's on television, or when it comes out in a book, or when you go to it. They're not used to it just always being there, which is the world we live in now. And there were some of the older guys that I was talking to, and they obviously weren't getting it. But Thomas Baxa was very fucking receptive. He was very interested. And maybe that was just him being a good salesman, but hey, I was convinced. But probably one of the personal highlights of the convention for me was meeting Tazo, who is a fan. We've interacted on Twitter. He's an artist who's did a lot of concept work for Snow White and the Huntsman. He's Mavros-Thanatos on DeviantArt, and you should absolutely check him out. He's fucking amazing. But what I didn't realize is that he also works over at Blizzard. And he told me that apparently the WoW Legion fishing for 6 hours fucking stream has in fact graced the halls of Blizzard Entertainment. Because in those late nights when you're 3D modeling, you just got to get it done. Yeah, he needs something to listen to. And apparently for him, that was 6 hours of WoW fishing. which felt amazing, by the way. It was great to learn that. You know, of course, the trip to LA was great, like seeing our friends Charlie and Haley and Garrett and, you know, Garrett's new girlfriend, Erica. That was all fantastic. We got to see Morgan again. She was more than gracious. Found out a couple of things about a couple of things from Morgan that I might talk about in the future. It's not personal shit. It's all like, hey, thought you might be interested in this little thing about Carl Jung that you didn't know about. And we might talk about that in the future, probably on a stream, because I don't know if I could do a whole video on it. But needless to say, she introduced me to Carl Jung's The Red Book, and I'm going to have to be getting a copy of that. So really fucking appreciate her for introducing me to that. And one of the funny things is I happened to leave my notebook at her place, but she left her jacket in my car. So she's got to fucking come up to SF and get her fucking jacket back at some point. Yeah, we'll try to make that happen. That'll be great. I've got your precious soul here, Morgan. Horror Guru and I have pretty much decided that we're going to Monsterpalooza in April. And the way everyone at Son of Monsterpalooza hyped up Monsterpalooza, we are expecting great things. We're going to try to have a bigger presence there. We're not exactly sure how we're going to do it or what it's going to be. But hey, we're going to be there, and cross your fingers, the Countess might be coming with us. I haven't gone to a fucking show with the Countess since I started doing the Count Jackula show, really. There was a period of time before that where we weren't really going to shows at all. But, like, I was always kind of hoping that would change, and this might actually change that, and that'd be great. The reason she's never gone before is there's always been a really good financial reason for her to not do it. You know, like it would take too much time off of work, or it was better if Horror Guru went with me. But in April, we might be able to make this all happen. Oh man, one of the other things that we ran into Clive Barker's booth, and we got some pictures of that stuff. There was this great bust of Shanasasi, which is beautiful. There was also this beautiful poster of Nightbreed that glows in the dark. And the guy at the booth, Clive Barker wasn't there himself, but like we met this guy named Ben, who I think is like his assistant or something, but he's definitely the guy running the booth. He said when he presented the poster to Clive looked at it and was like, "What is this, glow in the dark?" Yeah, it glows in the dark. Oh my God, turn the lights out. Oh, look at that. And he's like, there's nothing quite like watching a 60-year-old horror author turn into a 15-year-old boy before your eyes. Well, I think that's it for now. We're going to try to get on a regular streaming schedule, and we're going to be working on, more videos for everybody. So until next time, all you whores of Babylon, stay deviantly delicious, and we'll see you in the slut pit.
Hey, we got the Patreon, so kick in $1 or $2 a month so that we may continue Satan's unholy work. Also, we do a semi-regular stream about once a week, and the announcement of when the next one is announced on my Twitter. So go follow me on Twitter and you'll get the announcement on when the next stream is and who's going to be joining me. Although there's usually a surprise. So go do that and we will see you at the next one. Hail Satan.